Pranam, madam. Shall we start? Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pranam to all the participants. We welcome to our fourth day of IK's TKDL workshop, Traditional Knowledge, Intellectual Property and People's Rights. Today, on the fourth day, Madam Asthana Madam will talk about how we can handle TK, traditional knowledge, how we can work with traditional knowledge with emphasize on ethical aspects, how we can handle ethically, what are the principles, provisions nationally and internationally are well known, and what are the acts, IPR, intellectual property rights. And madam has the experience as an editor of our journal of intellectual property rights, so madam will show everything to us. Pranam, madam, please start your session.
Piyushji, thank you so much. Namaste to all. A very good afternoon. I'll just share my presentation.
Yes. Yes.
If it's on slide mode, I'll just move the slide. Let me know if it's moving.
Yes.
Is it moving?
Yes, ma'am. It's moving.
All right.
Please
yes,
start.
Thank you so much. So, a very good afternoon to everyone. So, we sort of continue from where we left off yesterday. Today, as Piyushji said, we will be talking about and discussing handling and working with traditional knowledge, the ethical aspects. So why are we discussing the ethical aspects? Now, when we talked about intellectual property rights, we know that's a legal right. There are legal provisions. There is a law to help the people whenever there is any violation of that particular right. But as I specified yesterday, when we talk of traditional knowledge, there is no legal or there is no legislation relating to traditional knowledge. So what we can discuss here is how to ethically handle traditional knowledge, and those researchers or whoever are working with traditional knowledge, what are the things that they need to keep in mind while working with traditional knowledge or the IKS as we speak of. Okay. So again, we will remind ourselves of the things that we will be looking at, or what are the things that we are going to talk of in the ambit of traditional knowledge that we are going to discuss today. Now, we spoke a lot about disclosed traditional knowledge yesterday when we spoke about the what we call as defensive protection. Okay, so in the defensive protection, we discussed that whatever is already published or fixed or available in some form in the public domain, they all come under the defensive protection mechanism, wherein they will serve as some sort of prior art or some sort of information wherein it will prevent misappropriation of that particular information. Okay. Now, when we talk about oral traditional knowledge, that is undisclosed traditional knowledge, folk knowledge, information that is there in manuscripts, in what way these are secret or undisclosed? Okay, undisclosed knowledge, as we discussed yesterday, it could be knowledge which is there with the tribal people. It could be with certain communities. So, what is the in what manner this is undisclosed? It could be printed subject matter. I'm not saying it's cannot be printed subject matter, but it will be secret. The information will be restricted to only those people who have the information. That is, in the case of a family or a community or an individual. So in some form, it is non-codified, it is secret, it is not accessible in general to people. Okay, that is undisclosed knowledge. So in the undisclosed knowledge, it could be oral, tribal, folk knowledge that is available with individuals, families, communities, as we discussed, and manuscripts. Okay, manuscripts. Many times you would have seen that if you go to certain pockets of not only tribal population, you also go to southern part of India where they have all these manuscript families which they have maintained within families only. That is not accessible to anybody else. You find a lot of it in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Especially in Tamil Nadu, you would find it a lot of it information related to Nadi Jyotiam. In Kerala, you would find a lot of manuscripts relating to folk healing, traditional healing, even Ayurveda. All those manuscripts are not generally available to public. Okay, so that information also, in a manner, is undisclosed knowledge, that is oral traditional knowledge or the secret non-codified knowledge. Now, we understand that these kind of knowledge, that is this traditional knowledge, now where it is printed, it would still speak for itself. So it would still be able to, you'd be still able to show it as evidence of existing knowledge. But in case of such knowledge, where the knowledge is not disclosed and the owner does not want to disclose it also. So in such cases, how to prove or how to protect such knowledge? Okay, this knowledge also needs protection. So how to do that? And if you're handling such knowledge, or knowingly or unknowingly, how to disseminate or how to keep the information in a manner that is helpful to the custodian, owner, or the practitioner of that particular traditional knowledge. So who are the stakeholders that we will discuss about here? Stakeholders could be the knowledge creator. Okay, the knowledge is thousands of years old. I understand that the creator would no longer be there today. But where you talk about evolving knowledge or dynamic knowledge, where some particular community family is using it and some minor changes have been made, or they have revised it according to the current context or contemporary ingredients available, or the kind of
Hello, Inder, kya haal hai?
Yeah, some kind of changes that have
Okay.
happened over years. Kindly switch off your
हाँ भाई आ गए क्या इतनी जल्दी?
microphone, please. So
Excuse me,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. I'm
Sorry.
doing.
Screen is not visible. Are you sharing the screen?
Yes, screen is being shared. Yes,
It's not
Yes.
visible.
it's not visible.
Screen is visible. Please continue, ma'am.
Screen
Please continue.
is visible. Please,
It's
please
visible. You can continue
rejoin
now.
once again. It may. Yes.
Hello, I'm sorry. So
Yes. Yes.
you
Please.
can just switch off and switch on, like log off and log on in case you're not able to see the presentation. Please. Thank you so much. So stakeholders will be knowledge creators, practitioners, owners, custodians, intermediaries. So what is the difference between these people? Creators, as I mentioned, it could be some people who are involved in the creation of the knowledge. Practitioners need not necessarily be the creators, but they could be people who are actually practicing that knowledge. Okay. Owners and custodians in a manner are in possession of that knowledge, although they may not be creators nor practitioners, or they could be all of it. Okay. Intermediaries would be certain people who provide a link between the people who practice and people who need to use that knowledge. Okay. Those kind of intermediaries you would find, because a lot of these communities are isolated or do not know how to spread their knowledge or disseminate their knowledge, and would need certain people who would help them in doing so. Okay. So in this context, all these people are stakeholders in the domain of traditional knowledge. Okay. So we discussed some of this. I touched upon certain of these things yesterday, but we will have to discuss more in detail, because in the context of oral traditional knowledge or undisclosed traditional knowledge, these things become much more important. So there are international, national provisions for these things. And when we are talking about oral traditional knowledge, I said yesterday also, I spoke about prior informed consent while disseminating or accessing traditional knowledge. And another term I used was access and benefit sharing, wherein in case you're utilizing that particular traditional knowledge, then there should be some way you should give back to the society or to the knowledge holder. Okay. Now, where are these embodied? There are international treaties or the convention which speaks about these things. Okay. So the most important in that being the Convention on Biological Diversity, something on which the National Biodiversity Act of India is also based. Okay. So what is the objective of the Convention on Biological Diversity? It's conservation, sustainable use, and fair and equitable sharing of benefits. Okay. There is one Nagoya Protocol also which comes out of the CBD, and here the details of how it is to be implemented. That is how to distribute the fair and equitably the benefit that is mentioned in the Nagoya Protocol. Okay, and also it lays emphasis on prior informed consent. Now, as we go through the presentation, I will give you more details, because if you are working with traditional knowledge, you must know, in case you're collecting or documenting traditional knowledge, what are the things that you need to take care of, especially when you speak to people or take information from people. So I will give you an idea of how to take prior informed consent of people, and how to, which is the right way of doing so. Okay. So the Biological Diversity Act, as I said, is a national act. This act was enacted in 2002, but there is a very recent amendment in 2023, and the rules were implemented this year. So there are significant changes here. So again, I will explain these things. Why I'm talking about such acts is, as as researchers in this area, you will have to take note of the legal provisions in this area when you're working with it. See, ignorance of law is not excusable. So in case there is a law and a legislation, and you are working in the domain, you must know the law, and you must be in compliance while working in the area. Okay. So in the Biological Diversity Act, we have certain provisions. One is, we discussed yesterday, which is the People's Biodiversity Register. So under the Act, there is a National Biodiversity Authority. This is an authority at the national level. It has certain functions, and it has certain things that only the National Biodiversity Authority can do. Below that comes the State Biodiversity Board. Okay. Again, the State Biodiversity Board acts in the local level, in the sense the state level, and they also have certain different functions. The other level, that is the lowest level, that is the Biodiversity Management Committees. These come at the level of the villages, panchayat, that is the talukas, wherein all the consultation level takes place, and they are closely associated with the local people. They are the ones who prepare the People's Biodiversity Register. Okay. So this is one of the things that you must have, you will remember if you're working with traditional knowledge. It will be best to keep in touch with the local BMC, so that you will do your work in traditional knowledge in an ethical manner. All states have state biodiversity boards, and many of they have an extensive number of BMCs who take care of this collection of information, or even in case of access and benefit sharing, they will be able to help you. Okay. Now, the quantum of benefits that is to be shared between the persons applying for approval, that is in the sense who will be using or disseminating or making a commercial product out of TK, that is from a person or from an individual community, that quantum of benefits which they need to share is done in mutual consultation, okay, with the local bodies and the benefit claimers. We'll come to details. So again, I will again remind you once again, what are the local provisions, that is the legal provisions that are there in India. One is Section 3P, which we already discussed yesterday, wherein traditional knowledge per se is not patentable. Okay, but there is also another provision in the Act which says any biological material, if you use in any intellectual property, that is in particularly patent, you will have to disclose the source or geographical origin of that material. All right. So in case of taking it from a knowledge holder, you will have to indicate in your patent application that you have taken it from this person, from this territory. And that disclosure is very important. Why? Because if you do not disclose it or incorrectly disclose it, this becomes a ground for pre-grant opposition, post-grant opposition, and even revocation. So it is not as if you got the patent, so you can rest assured that nothing is going to happen now. No, it is this ground for revocation also. So even after you get the patent, it can get revoked on the basis that you have not disclosed the origin or the source. Okay. So there are, as I mentioned, access and benefit sharing provisions in the Biological Diversity Act. So there are different provisions for domestic users or domestic entities and for foreign entities. Okay. So all foreign entities who use biological resource, or here there is an important thing, that is where the traditional knowledge comes into play. It says biological resource or associated knowledge. That associated knowledge includes associated traditional knowledge. Okay. So if you obtain access this, you will have to go back to the National Biodiversity Authority, and you will have to, through an ABS agreement, either you'll have to give an intimation if you're a domestic user or a domestic entity. If you're a foreign entity, you have to take prior approval. Okay. So this holds good for transfer of results of research relating to biological resource. And if you apply for any IPR in or outside India for an invention based on biological resource. So even if you're a local person or a local entity that is domestic Indian, if you are collaborating with a foreign university and if the stake is a certain percentage, then you will be counted as a foreign entity only. So you will have to actually take prior approval even if you are an Indian, where collaborations are involved. Okay. So the equitable benefit sharing by National Biodiversity Authority is in accordance with mutual agreed terms, as I said. Okay. This can be monetary or non-monetary. And what do we mean by monetary? Monetary can be in terms of license, royalty, or you make them part of your application, patent application. So whatever benefit accrues to the applicant will also as a percentage go to the other person. Okay. That is whoever is included as the applicant. Now, these are monetary ways of doing it. What is non-monetary? Non-monetary will be in some manner you're giving back to the society. That is some sort of, opening schools, creating educational research and development hubs, or you are actually sharing the scientific results with them so that they can also use it. Or, some cases you will some way uplift them socio-economically. Okay. So such activities that is carried out that will come with a non-monetary benefit sharing. And the NBA, as per law, allows both monetary and non-monetary benefit sharing. Okay, the formula will be decided on case-to-case basis in mutual consultation. Now, how does TKDL, come into the picture of oral traditional knowledge? Like I told you yesterday, we work on traditional knowledge, we document traditional knowledge, but it is mostly text-based. So all the information that is already published, that kind of information from Indian systems of medicine, from agriculture, from metallurgy, we have started including in the TKDL. But where does the question of oral traditional knowledge come? In the National IPR Policy of 2016, it was recommended that TKDL should also document oral traditional knowledge, taking care that integrity of the said knowledge is preserved and traditional ways of life of communities are not compromised. Okay, so that's where we have come in. We have started looking at oral traditional knowledge for inclusion. The area is complex, as you would understand, as I've been telling you, that oral traditional knowledge is not as straightforward as published information. Published information is already evidence, it's already prior art, it is present. But oral traditional knowledge is not protected by any legal laws. Okay, and even if you think that Biological Diversity Act in some way protects all the traditional knowledge related to biodiversity, that knowledge which is not related to biodiversity, that still has no protection because it does not fall under the ambit of the Biological Diversity Act. Okay? So in such cases, what are the things that are to be done? We have been working on it. We have also created a guidance document. And through the guidance document, we have understood in what manner this all these things can be ethically handled. Okay. So when you talk about oral TK, you would know, you would understand this, and you would also know this when you're working with, IKS and traditional knowledge. Since there is no legal framework to protect oral TK, and as I said, especially for non-biological resources, you will not find any standard operating procedures for recording TK. There are no standard procedure for collecting the prior informed consent. There are no procedures. So as a researcher, when you go into the field and try to collect this information, there will be a lot of issues you will face over there. You will not know what are the things that you have to do, how to do, what is the right way to do it, because there is no information or a general format for all these things. Okay. And if you see the documentation itself, the documentation is being done in a very unorganized, non-structured manner. So many people collecting this kind of information. You would find commercial entities doing it. You will find universities, a lot of students, in their research projects, go to these remote areas, go to tribal populations, start collecting information, probably not understanding how to do it, and, publish it. Now, whether this is a good or a bad thing, we will understand a little more. There are government departments like Government of Ayush, Ministry of Ayush, which is working on the ISMs. They collect information on local health traditions. There are individuals also doing this. Okay, so here there is one very important thing that we have to remember: the rights of the knowledge holders and their right to sustain livelihood. All of this traditional knowledge is directly related to their livelihood. So by some manner, if you are disrupting that, it directly affects their, status of life, okay? Because they won't be able to earn the same way that they have been earning before. And probably as researchers, we have to understand that before doing anything with that knowledge, okay? Then when you have low awareness of prior informed consent or access and benefit sharing norms, this automatically leads to exploitation and misappropriation, okay? Then publishing articles. As I mentioned yesterday, someone asked a question like, if you want to patent, then should we publish the information or should we present in a conference? Now, I answered saying that you should not, okay? Now, there are two things. Whether it is a IPR potential, it has IPR potential. For instance, even undisclosed TK can have IPR potential. So if you thoughtlessly take it from the person and publish it, that option of protecting it through IPR or getting benefit out of it will not exist, okay? Another thing is publishing articles. We are all happy to collect information, do research, think we are doing the right thing and publish the information. Now, publishing the information without due acknowledgement, without actually recognizing the contribution of the person who shared the original traditional knowledge with you is unethical, okay? It's not the right way to do things. Then when you talk about research, validation, commercial utilization, then the not giving benefits back to the knowledge holders, again, that's a concern. And this is, I'm not stating these just as a, to inform you that these are concerns. These have actually been happening. A lot of people go to the traditional knowledge holders, collect information from them, do a lot of things, and then fail to even acknowledge them and don't give them anything back and pretend as if, it is an intellectual, thing from their own side, okay? So as if no one else has contributed to it. This is completely unethical. But a lot of people would may not understand that this is, a wrong way of doing things. Okay? Then the risks associated with improper handling, I have highlighted this. It is something that we have already discussed. But as researchers, please remember, by improperly handling TK or unethically doing your job, you're completely jeopardizing the rights of knowledge holders, okay? You'll be depriving them of their right to livelihood, their right to protectable subject matter, their right to safeguarding their own, then causing potential loss of livelihoods of the concerned knowledge holders, as I said, and giving ground to misappropriation or biopiracy of TK. Okay? These are the things that you need to remember. Then there are some things which I will talk about in terms of ethical handling of traditional knowledge, wherein I will distinguish it as, access and documentation, R&D, other aspects which are involved in traditional knowledge. Okay, so I'll go one by one. This is just to give you an idea of if you are doing such work, then what are the things you need to remember and what are the ethical ways of doing the things. Okay, first of all, respect privacy, freedom, moral rights, and right to sustainable livelihood of the knowledge holders. So what is moral rights here? You'll all know about copyright. Okay. Now in copyright, there is the question of moral rights also come in. Now what is moral rights here? You must not in any way affect the integrity of the information that you're taking from the knowledge holder. Okay. So in case you distort it to your liking, or, if there is a sanctity related to the spiritual part or the cultural part, and you remove that completely and present it as information which is unrelated to that, in some way it is distortion or, degrading of that information. So such things, you're actually violating the moral rights of the person or the community in terms of the knowledge that they have shared with you. Okay, so you need to respect moral rights. You need to respect privacy. You need to respect freedom. Then when you are collecting such information, you will be going to communities. Okay, it's not just communities from a particular area. It could be like cross-border. You could have some people from this area, then probably they're migrated over a period of time. They're available in other areas. So always ensure participatory consultative process. Okay, try to collect as many people as possible and sit together with them and understand whether the information that you're collecting, you're including all the beneficiaries, you're talking to all those people who practice the traditional knowledge. That's important. Often when you go to these traditional knowledge communities, you will find that there is a great difficulty in making them share that information from you. Why? Because as I said, it is a very real experience for them that whenever they have shared knowledge with people, the people have not respected their rights. People have not respected their, these moral rights of privacy, and they have always been disappointed with the kind of communication they have had with people, which they have, in a good faith transferred the information. So that trust factor is lacking. Okay, so you will have to build the trust with complete consensus, and also discuss with them how you're going to record the information, what you're going to do with the information, so they are completely aware, and only then take the information from them. Okay, so the collective views, as I mentioned, so if there is any duplication, any variation, all that will come into picture. What we need to do is collect the information as extensively as possible, as comprehensively possible, including every bit of information, so that you need not go back to the community. At times, what will happen if they are a migratory community, you will find them once in one place and sometimes another place, and probably you will not get a chance to go back to them and clarify certain things. So always take the complete information and always record them in preferably audio video mode. So anything that you have not understood, there are less chances of misrepresentation or misinterpretation when you do it in audio video mode. And also importantly, any apprehensions, challenges which are specified by the knowledge holders, that also need to be recorded. Okay, so this is in terms of access and documentation. Now, a lot of things, you will collect the information and then use it for further R&D. What are the things that you need to keep in mind in case you're doing so? Primarily, prior informed consent. There is no excuse for not taking consent from them. So you will have to tell them that you are going to use it for R&D and the activities that you're planning. Okay, preferably, or if possible, you address those problems which no one has thought about for the community. Since you're taking the knowledge from them, it would only be fair that you address certain of their problems, so that in the context of doing R&D, you're also able to alleviate those problems of theirs. Okay. Another thing is, do not, have conflict with their traditions and beliefs. That is the knowledge that you're taking from them. See, in the modern context, after our scientific understanding, studies, learning, examination of the same thing, probably you would not find that their belief is actually correct. Okay. But if that is the case, and if your research is going to actually create that conflict and they do not want that conflict to happen, you'll have to discuss it with them. Probably they do not want that. Then in that case, it is not good for you to proceed with R&D in that context. So any contradictory results, please discuss with them. In case possible, all cooperation in creating your research project, or in creating or the way or mechanism in which it is to be done, it would be good to discuss with them. Probably they have some ideas, since they have been using that knowledge for such a long time. It would be good to have them as partners in doing the research. Okay. Then once you have done the research, it is only ethical that you share the information and the research results with them, because they have given you the idea, they have given you the original context for doing your research, and preferably in a language that they understand. Okay, so in the local language. And material transfer agreements in the proper manner, in a written manner, in the form of a contract, whenever you're accessing any biological, chemical, or archaeological materials. Okay, so extant law and procedures have to be followed, compliance, which is why we discussed the National Biological Diversity Act in such detail, especially when you're talking about the biological materials. Okay, so in such cases, in Patent Act is also important. So keep in mind that all laws and procedures you'll have to be compliant with. And if you commercialize it, the benefits have to be shared, whether monetary or non-monetary. And again, this is to be within the confines or the way the Biological Diversity Act has prescribed. Okay. Now, we also can talk about dissemination of information. Not necessary that all the information that you use, you might do R&D with it. You might just publish it. Okay. So you are trying to collate information. You are creating a review. You are trying to, enlighten people about the information that is existing in certain regions or local regions or geographical areas for certain reasons. Now, in this case, what you need to remember, once you take any submission for publication, please try and include the prior informed consent. So it is not often that the publishers themselves will ask you for prior informed consent. Now, since you are people from a varied area of university setup, in case you are editors yourself, in case you have journals which publish such matter, please remember to ask the author for prior informed consent. You need to know whether they are publishing this knowledge after having it taken it from someone with their due consent. Okay. So a mandatory PIC with manuscript submission will be very important. Confidential and secret information, to the extent possible, do not publish unless the owner or the custodian or the knowledge holder themselves want to do so. But even then, you should explain to them that there is a possibility of IP. So in that case, publishing it right away would not be a good idea. Okay. So in case it is can be monetized, you should look for the possibilities. In this case, the organizations that we discussed yesterday or spoke about yesterday, like the National Innovation Foundation, the Honeybee Foundation, they are all very important organizations. They work with grassroots people, and they help them in gaining IP protection, okay, or in publications and things like that. So where you are in doubt, please connect with such people so that you can see whether they can help you in monetizing the traditional knowledge that is available. Then include knowledge holders as co-authors. Okay, that's also very important. So merely acknowledging them may not be enough. Okay, then you're using a due consultative process when you're going to use it for a further research. And of course, here, since it is like copyright, since you're going to publish it, the moral rights are important. So be as true as possible to the information that you have collected from them. Then awareness and education. One way is what we are doing today. We are discussing traditional knowledge. We are discussing oral traditional knowledge. We are talking about this and making people aware. So if as a group of a few 100 people, you are learning about these things today, you would go and spread it across to more people. Okay. So teaching modules, capacity building workshops, talking about ethical handling would be a very good way of spreading this information. Okay. Then inclusion of ethical aspects in curriculum of educational courses. Now, IKS is doing very good work in including the IKS as a topic in the curriculum. Okay, so you having the ethical aspects, especially as a part of that education, would go in a great way in helping this kind of inculcating this ethical handling at whatever level, at school level or the college level or at the research level, wherever it needs to be done. Okay. Then awareness and education is one thing. It is also important to appreciate the people, the knowledge holders, the providers who have this. For instance, I put here Lakshmi Kuti. She's a Padma Shri awardee. She's from the Kani tribe. She actually works with toxic snake bites and all. She's a healer. And she's one of the persons who, like in the 1960s, who had gone to school. One of the only tribal people in her own who had actually gone to school at that point of time. She does this out of a passion for healing people, doesn't really take monetary, money from people for treating them. She's doing this as a service to humanity. Okay, all such work needs to be applauded. Okay, so she has got a Padma Shri. Similarly, there are many other people who are working in the area of traditional knowledge. They may be educated, they may not be educated, but still as a service, they have been working their whole life in the area of traditional knowledge, and all this needs to be acknowledged. All this needs to be recognized. Okay, in this way we can spread the information, the richness of the traditional knowledge and the local cultural importance that a particular knowledge has. Okay, these are all actually in some form Padma awardees or awardees who have got certain things. These are all Padma Shri awardees actually. So prior informed consent form, which I told you that I will be touching upon a little bit. So when you're collecting the information from people, it has to be in written format. Okay. So you either take a signature or a thumbprint, or in cases that's not possible, a video recording of their consent. Okay. So it will be basically involving willingness to disclose and share the information, or documentation or any further use that you're going to put to. Okay, so there will be a declaration by the knowledge holder, declaration by the recording organization, and you also have to explain to them that this can have implications like access and benefit sharing. Not necessarily, yes, but it can have. So you need to have an explanatory note that this is a voluntary consent. It can be retracted later. Any record will be available to the knowledge holder. Pros and cons of full or partial disclosure. You can either disclose completely or partially. That is, in the dissemination in the public domain, you need not put the entire information. Okay. So how that can be done, that also needs to be explained to them. And if there are no commercially viable products, it is possible that there are no benefits which will accrue. Okay. That also needs to be explained to them. And you must duly acknowledge them on further validation, value addition, including publication. That's also a part of the prior informed consent. Now, there are challenges, okay, in implementing PIC. Sometimes it is very difficult to identify who is the competent person who will give the PIC. Sometimes there will be dispute among the community members, knowledge holders, and practitioners. So, there will be a tussle on who is the competent person to give the PIC. Then there will be different communities who claim the benefit. Then what to do? Who to take the PIC from? Then sometimes they will be willing to share some information with you, but they may not actually sign it or do. There must be some form of mistrust which you need to, overcome. Then once they know that there is a commercialization possibility and that there is some benefit sharing that is possible, new benefit claimers will crop up. So PIC again becomes redundant in that case. Then there is a possibility of retraction of PIC. In case they retract the PIC, it is not ethical to continue with that process or anything that you are doing with that information. Okay, it is rare, but it is ethically possible. Okay, so what you have to do is responsible documentation and TK utilization practices. You will have to follow that. Okay, so 3 cardinal principles: free prior informed consent, acknowledgement, and access and benefit sharing. Please remember. So some pictures I have put on the side. This is from the National Innovation Foundation, which I said they work with grassroots innovators. They've actually taken knowledge from people and actually created these products for animals. Okay, Sananthalmentake and Macerac is for a treatment for mastitis in animals. Okay, these are actually products which are manufactured and which have been commercially sold, and the benefits have gone back to the communities who have shared the information. Okay, many such examples you will also find in the National Biodiversity Authority, because they are the ones who actually control or govern how the access benefit sharing is to be done. You'll find these examples. Again, I'll repeat that these slides will be shared with you, so you can have a look at that and you can see the NBA website also. It'll give you a lot of information on this. So this is an example wherein an Indian researcher has used medicinal knowledge, and she has said that she would share all the findings with the SBB or the community concerned. Okay. Similarly, multinational companies like L'Oreal have paid upfront fee for accessing biological resources, like Hindustan Unilever. Again, they have paid upfront payment for using the plant. The only thing is the level or extent of access benefit sharing, if you see, the amounts are very small so far. So I wouldn't say this has gone on in a big way, although the act has been in existence since 2001. You would find a few evidences of benefit sharing, and probably the amounts are not so significant as one would think that it would, arise out of access benefit sharing. Now, there are complexities in benefit sharing also. Okay, where the knowledge or practice does not pertain to utilization of bioresources, it does not come within the ambit of NBA. Then what is the norm, or how to share the benefit? That's a question. There is a knowledge which is distinct, but there are no takers. So commercialization does not happen. So therefore no value, therefore no benefit sharing. Then there are cases where you would have limited monetary value or benefit. Sometimes there is an ethical conundrum. Knowledge is distinct, good, it can be commercialized, but it is associated with the depleting natural resource. Then what should you do? Okay. Sometimes knowledge providers will impede that percolation of benefits. They don't want it to go to other people. Then how to share it with all the actors? That becomes a problem. Okay. Then fixing the contribution to all the deserving parties, that also may be complex. Then there are times when you have an ownership of the resource and the knowledge. Okay, so there is a plant, there is a healer. So the plant is grown by someone, that person, or maintained by someone, that is different, and the user, that is the practitioner, is different. So these are distinct and not integrable. Then benefit sharing in terms of contribution, how to give to each, that also becomes complex. But there are several, models which have speak about the prior informed consent and ABS, and how to create good institutional structures for access and benefit sharing. So by reading all these things and probably understanding, you'd be able to find a way through the maze, that is the complexity of benefit sharing and also taking prior informed consent. I have put some examples here which you can go and read. So important in bioresources is that you'll have to maintain the ecosystems and natural habitats. That's very important, and distribute that benefit to all the actors of the value chain. Okay. Then I have given some examples. These are in the UNCTAD. This you would find. They are examples wherein the manufacturers have used bioresources and actually gone to their local partners and paid, some sort of percentage to them to help the communities. Okay. There are some global best practices also. Again, I have listed these. They are extensive code of conduct. So you can actually go and have a look at them. Okay. As an institution, one possibility is like you have ethics committee for handling animal testing and all those things. Like that, you can have a TK ethics committee for handling traditional knowledge, that is research, access and dissemination, all those other things. How to handle them ethically, you could have a committee and they could look into all these aspects. Okay. This I have added. This is because there is a recent, I said, a change or amendment to the Biological Diversity Act, and I thought you must know these things. There are some changes. I spoke about digital sequencing information yesterday, where we talk about RNA and DNA. Now, the thing is, accessing biological information, I said, sometimes becomes complex when they are going to use a DSI information. But what the Indian Biological Diversity Act has done, that in biological resource, they have included DSI information. So even if you use DSI, it is as if you're using the biological resource. So is not the case globally, okay? This same, equivalence is not there in the global context, although India has been trying and a lot of other countries have also been trying, but that has not happened. So digital sequencing information still remains distinct as a synthetic form and not a biological resource, okay? But in India, the Act has this time taken this into consideration. Then benefit sharing, as I said, you have some specific, mechanisms mentioned in the Act. So if you are going to access it for bioutilization or biosurvey, commercial utilization, you will have to pay. Now that commercial utilization, it is based on annual turnover. It's up to 6.6%. So I have shown here, this you can get from the NBA website. So up to 5 crore, the ABS obligations are absent. But above that, based on the annual turnover, you will have to pay certain ABS, okay? Then transferring of research results, it is 1 to 5%. Then commercial of IPR, commercialization, again 1 to 5%. That again, as I said, it will be on mutual consultation with the local bodies, with the benefit claimers and the National Biodiversity Authority. These will be fixed. And the calculation is based on the sector, the nature, quality, sustainability, ecological impact. This is all done on a case-to-case basis. All right. So what do we strive? What do we aim to achieve with the help of all this that we have been talking so far, ethical handling? So just remember, this slide I have put just to remind you, it's more like a summary. We need to have mandatory prior informed consent. We should share the recorded information with knowledge givers. Be mindful of the livelihoods of the knowledge holders, okay? It has to be sustained, and fair and equitable benefit sharing. Conserve habitats. Create models for sharing knowledge to third parties. Every small effort in this would go a long way in helping these communities who are left without any legal protection. Okay, so all these small things will go in a long way. And as institutions, you can do a lot in this area. And maybe as one institution, if you do it, there'll be many others who would be able to follow. You would be able to spread the word, and this could gain traction among all researchers. So as I said, we have created a guidance document for handling and working with traditional knowledge. Most of the information I have taken is from that document. But so far, this is not a public document. We are taking some internal approvals, and at some point of time, we'll make this public. So this will be like a resource material for any researcher to help them to see what are the ethical ways of working with traditional knowledge. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for your patient listening. I'll stop sharing right now. Thank you, PSG.
Yes. Pranam, ma'am. Thank you. So we welcome for our assessment session. Please complete the assessment within 5 to. There are 5 MCQs. And we'll start our question and answer session. Astu?
Please provide link for assessment.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is the slide visible? Yes.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So you so you okay. You have another 1 minute, complete and submit, then we'll start. No, Miraji, please complete the rest of the assignments. Or those assignments are closed already. Astu. So we request you, please raise your digital hand so we can unmute one by one and you can ask your doubts and questions. Asthana ma'am, pranam. So can we start to take some of questions before we close? Here Priyanka ji. Priyanka ji, could you please ask your question? Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, pranam.
Sir, yesterday I had to ask that I haven't received any response from your side, TKDS. I have registered myself for this workshop, but I haven't received
Yes.
any response. I am joining this from my friend's link. I have remailed them for I am not getting any responses, but I didn't get any answer of those two.
Your email ID, please.
Sir, Priyanka
Because
Kamboj.
we have not received from your side also. There is some technical issue. Please tell your please say once your email ID.
Priyanka Kamboj 2812@gmail.com.
Could you
Yes, sir,
please
they are last
chat?
one.
Could you please write in the chat so I can collect and sort out this problem? Okay, please
Yes, sir, of course. I will.
write in the chat box. Next.
Usually, maybe you can stop sharing your screen. So
Yes, sorry, ma'am. Oh. Yes.
So apparently there are no questions today.
Yes. So
which is a good thing.
And yes, if you have any followed question, you can write later, no problem. We have another 2 interactive sessions. These are scheduled on 22nd and 23rd of December. On those days, we will listen from you also, your feedback. Before that, we will share the feedback form and then we'll solve your doubts and any follow-up questions we'll answer. Astu?
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
sir?
yes, yes.
Yes, sir. I am having some
Uh,
queries. I want to discuss that with ma'am. Yeah.
please.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Vikas from Lovely Professional University in Jalandhar. So, ma'am, I actually we are going to start this Indian Traditional Knowledge System course in our curriculum. Like from next semester, we are going to start, and I have like tried to design two courses. One was for undergraduate and one was for postgraduate students. And the undergraduate course is basically Indian knowledge system in biotechnology. So basically, I am having the background of biotechnology. I just want to discuss some of the important components, because when I went into all the details of Indian knowledge system, so there are so many things like apart from Ayurveda or other traditional knowledge systems in the conservation of medicinal plants or other things, metallurgy, I was not aware of that, or arithmetics or Ganit Vigyan or architecture. So, I just want to know that when we are designing it for a biotechnology or a botany or a bioscience student, so what type of portion we have to include it in it? Totally, we should include the Ayurveda or medicinal plant-based systems, traditional
I
systems,
think this
which
would
like
be
our students are having background.
yes. I think
Yes,
this would be
yes,
a
ma'am. Yes,
question
ma'am.
answered by IKS because they are helping in designing curriculum. So maybe Piyush ji would like to take this
Yes.
question. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
See,
sir.
Upadhyay ji. So there are two things. One is the general IKS. To
Okay, sir.
introduce
Okay.
IKS to in general to all students. It may be UG or PG. That's the
Okay,
one
sir.
thing. And second is discipline specific IKs. For that particular discipline, you have to make another curriculum. Got it? For
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
mathematics, you have to differently sit with traditional scholars and
Okay.
scientists also, mathematicians, and make the
Yes.
curriculum how they can be integrated. For each and every discipline, you have to make another board for curricular development. We are doing that. So all
Okay.
are
So,
under
so
process. We are
okay.
also making IKS textbooks for
Okay, sir.
UG and PG. But before that,
Yes.
we need a introductory session or to introduce what is IKS. That's the first step. If
Okay.
you are doing that only, you can make and take some case studies from different disciplines, like from science, you can take one or two, from arts and humanities, technology, likewise, you can take. Astu?
Yes, sir. So I just want to know one another thing, because that is also associated with, like, if I'm a person of biotechnology or biosciences, I'm having background of that, and I'm going to teach this course IKS introductory. Like, I think from your point of view, I'm understanding that first we have to teach the students about the introductory component, then in next semester we can go for it, because this course we have prepared for 2 credits, okay, in this
Hmm.
in the next semester for undergraduate. So, sir,
Hmm.
like obviously, I am having background of biosciences, so how I will justify to like tell about the mathematics and all those. So, are you like organizing such type of workshops or courses that can help the like people like us, like who are not having that much idea? Although I have worked on my like research thesis, I used a medicinal plant and some traditional. From there, I was having an idea of traditional knowledge. So I just want to like participate in such type of workshops or such type of courses that I can undertake, and I can justify while I'm going to when I'm going to teach
How
my
you can?
students. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So for introductory IKS, you have to cooperate or coordinate with other scholars. So you can take 5 or 6 scholars from different disciplines as we do, and make a course. Within a course, you can keep the as an introductory class from physics, introductory.
Your voice is breaking, sir.
Likewise. The first one multidisciplinary course, not one person.
Okay. Okay, like one person cannot be, will
Astu?
not be able to teach the introductory component of
No.
IKS. Only
No.
discipline specific we can teach.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Astu?
okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. But like if I want to join such type of course, like for introduction of IKS, whether IKS system or this organization is organizing such type of courses, if you can
Yes,
share
we
the
have
details.
visual resources in our website. If you follow our website, there are a lot of materials and lectures, workshops also, recorded workshop. If you follow, you will get the ideas.
Oh,
Astu?
okay, 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 sir. Okay, sir. Thank
Astu.
you.
Ma'am, next is Yadav ji, Vikas ji.
Hello, sir. I'm Dr. Vikas Yadav from Galgodias University. Actually, I'm not going to ask any question, but I'm just wanted to give what we are doing currently in Galgodias University. Maybe Vikas sir will be able to understand what he can do. Actually, in Galgodias University, we are having two kind of courses which is related to the Indian knowledge system. One is Indian knowledge system. It is basically the active learning method, how a person can learn in better way. Another one is in historical perspective of Indian knowledge system. The second one is related to historical knowledge about Indian knowledge system, how the things evolved in India, like science, evolution of science, technology, and other things. The Dhimai, which is actually we are giving name, we are giving it a name of Dhimai, that is a learning part of Indian knowledge system. How we can learn in better way by having knowledge about meditation and how one should look at something. It is basically the method of learning. So these are two courses that we have introduced, and even the student from the background of science and technology and BCA are performing in a very well. They are performing very well, and they are gaining a lot of knowledge about Indian knowledge system, how the things evolved in India in historical times. So maybe
Yes.
you can go for it.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav, and I will definitely contact you. If you can share your email address, so I will discuss further about this.
Sure, sir. Actually,
Apart from me,
I'm from humanities background, so
okay, 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 okay.
okay,
So maybe that will be helpful. Thank you, sir.
sir.
So, ma'am, should we close? There is no other questions. Astu?
Sir,
Yes.
sir,
I have
there is
small
a query, not question. May I ask?
Yes, please proceed, please.
Okay. Vikasji, are you asking or should I ask?
Please,
Ma'am, you can ask. You
madam.
can ask. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir, it is not question related to the lecture, but it is a question related to the program. Actually, I have attended this workshop 8 when it happened in August, most probably, but I'm able to remember. But I got a message that I have not qualified assessment. That's why I am not getting the certificate. But when I queried about the result of assessment, I didn't get any response of that. So I mean, I'm just worried that what will happen this time if I'm not getting any certificate or result of assessment, then how will I mean rectify this problem if happening with me again and again. Also, sir, one more information is there. Some because of one very important meeting, I couldn't attend the yesterday session. So will it affect my assessment? Because I didn't get the link of assessment also.
Yes, ma'am, you have to score 75% marks to get the certificate. That's the answer
Yes,
for the
yes.
second one. And for the first one, there may be some technical issue because we have shifted from our old email to Zoho platform. Because of that,
Okay,
there
sir.
were some technical issues. If you as per the rule, if someone asks his or her marks, at that time there was a time slot to ask what is the score. So there were given us
Okay.
timeline. Huh. I think you skipped that. Because of that, you did not get the message. Please write to
Okay,
us.
sir.
I will try to help it out. Astu?
And also, sir, what I have missed the yesterday's session. What about that?
No, that you have to forget, and you have to complete the rest of the assignment to reach your goal, 75% marks. Huh? Astu?
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, follow-up query, sir. Can I ask, please?
Yes, please,
While
ma'am.
submitting the assessment, firstly, I would like to thank ma'am for the such a wonderful session. Thank you so much, ma'am. I am Nazma Khan from Gujarat National Law University. And my query is regarding this assessment only, that from one email ID to the other, I switched. I did not, in the earlier assessment submission, I did not change the actual mail ID I registered with. So will that impact or no?
No, the actual email ID. What was the email ID?
While registering, I used my official mail ID.
Hmm.
Okay, but during this submission of the assessment link, I did
Hmm.
not change it because they asked no in the form switch your mail ID. I
If
did
you
not.
change your email ID, please inform us. We have to change in the database also. Astu, please inform to us through a mail.
Okay, okay.
Astu?
Because three assessment
Yes,
I
yes.
submitted with my personal ID, so I rechecked it again. Then I thought that I should ask this. So should I
Please.
send a message
Hello,
on the
sir.
mail which I received,
Yes.
the assessment link?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening,
Okay,
sir.
sir. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
You, sir. Sir,
Can I ask?
earlier, sir,
Hello.
I am Rajdeep Singh from Punjab. I have a small query that earlier you people on the website of this IKS Ministry of Education, there was a proposal to publish the books. So, sir, my request is, as I am interested to do work in Punjabi language also, as well as in
Yes.
traditional, as we speak in English, but in traditional languages like Punjabi also, we have compulsory subject of IKS. So, I am interested to write on it, and how can I reach them?
Uh, in the end of December,
Yeah.
another round of proposals we will take. So please follow
Ji, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
the
Hello.
Hello.
next
Yeah, ma'am, it's really very useful, informative
round.
session, ma'am. Literally, I got a lot of information from you. I want to thank you once again because I don't want to put it in chat. I want to talk to you in person because excellent communication and the words, each and everything you said, it's really, I want to do that particular thing as a future book chapter also. I want to plan to do it, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello. Hello.
Okay. I think PSG is having a little disrupted
Yes, ma'am.
connection. Please continue. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Myself Neeta Mohite from Gujarat.
Hello.
सर मेरी सेकेंड डे के असेसमेंट लिंक थोड़ा नेटवर्क इश्यू की वजह से रह गया है सर, तो उसके लिए फिर आगे का क्या प्रोसेस रहेगा?
Hello. I think.
Hello.
No,
Hello.
ma'am, your voice is not clear.
Can I ask the question, sir?
Soumya ji, you can ask your questions, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, good morning. Sorry, good evening. Thank you so much, ma'am, for nice presentation. I have a query that how MSMEs, especially MSMEs, can get the benefit from TKDL, because based on my research, most of the MSME who are undergoing with the GI tags processing, otherwise in the cottage industry or geographical based industry, they are not aware of TKDL. How we can make aware for MSME, and how a new startup which is based on traditional knowledge can get the benefit of TKDL?
Okay. To answer your question, see, right now it is not an accessible database, but as I said, we are planning to make it accessible to people. We will advertise that and publicize that when we make it. It will be done soon, maybe within the early next year. So once it is subscription-based access, you would be able to get access. And we have it there is some distinctive slabs for different people. So maybe MSMEs will get some kind of discount while accessing the TKDL database. That's one thing. As far as geographical indications is concerned, I did mention yesterday, although geographical indications is often connected with traditional knowledge, the thing is the kind of protection you get is only for the good, basically. Okay. But we are trying to look at the traditional knowledge part of it and maybe include some of such information. And in case of any violation, we are thinking of, providing some sort of alerts in that case. But this is, we are still working on it with the Department of, DPIIT, which handles the GI. This is not yet, firm up. It's not a firmed up thing. But yeah, soon we are looking at that aspect also. Maybe that would help in the cases of those industries which are working with, the geographical indication.
Ma'am, can I ask a question?
Ma'am.
Yes, please. Soumya ji, continue.
Ma'am, regarding what you have mentioned regarding our research articles.
Yes.
As academicians, we are most of the time we are hurried to publish a paper. Especially pertaining to research for traditional knowledge system, so we'll not get into this much deeper before producing or before publishing our paper. So what could be the stand as an author we can take, and what could be an TKDL can support us in this regard?
See, as TKDL, we have a specific mandate. We are just creating the database for protecting traditional knowledge. So maybe in that context, we don't have any support to offer. But as far as publishing is concerned, maybe the things that I mentioned today during the presentation, that would help you as academician to see how you should actually publish information related to traditional knowledge. So don't be in a hurry, understand all the pros and cons, and then do whatever you're doing. That's what I would advise.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, can I ask my question?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. I'm Moni Sahai, and I have worked in the field of skill development. So I got to know that there are many, occupations where people are practicing the traditions that they have followed in form of occupations in their families in various parts of India. So how can actually this traditional knowledge system or the Indian knowledge system can be helpful in promoting skill development? Because the government is working a lot on skill development. There is a huge question about joblessness and other things. So how can the IKS help in, bringing those skills in people?
Maybe this is a question which Piyush would like to answer because as TKDL, as I said, we have a specific mandate. So we are not into other things because this particular job that we have itself is very extensive. So we are not working in the areas of skill development so far. But Piyush, would you like to take this question? Is IKS involved in any of these aspects?
Ma'am, could you please repeat your question, please?
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm working in the field of skill development, and I got to know that, there are many occupations that are being practiced by families since ages. So in a way, those occupations are based on the traditional knowledges and other things. So how can actually IKS be helpful in promoting such skills that there is less of joblessness? There's less of job related migration from those places where people are practicing these traditional skills and relying on the IKS for their livelihoods?
Yeah, could you please give an example here? One example.
Sir, like if we take something like related to paintings, okay, we have the old painting arts of Madhubani, the Warli paintings, and some other paintings, you know, that exist in Gujarat and other parts of India. There are many such examples, but this was one which I could recall immediately.
So one aspect is how we can manage management and skill development. Uh, we are not we have not yet proceed so far. We have just started. We have crossed primary stage 3 years. Then just in the secondary stage, another 5-year program is fixed. So we have to do that. Uh,
Actually, sir, my
so
query arise because when I was working on skill development, I was thinking a lot about this IKS and how it can be correlated with skill development. Because you know, that probably can at least partially address the issue of joblessness or job related migration. I mean, this was my idea. It may be very rudimentary, but I thought, if you know, if it is an idea at all, then you know, we can think about it or maybe work about it.
Yeah. So
yes.
Moniji, just a suggestion, like there are NGOs who work in this area. Okay. One example which I talked about is the National Innovation Foundation. They work a lot in this area. Maybe, some of your ideas you could discuss with them, that would give you forward. Yeah. If you want, I can connect with you. I mean, I can give you some numbers whom you can connect with. Right?
Yes, ma'am. I would be happy to get that from you.
You can write to me. I'll connect you with somebody.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Piyush.
Yes. Awesome, ma'am. So let us close with Shanti Mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pranam, ma'am. Pranam to all the participants. See you tomorrow at the.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pranam, sir.
Astu.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Astu.
Pranam, sir. Pranam.
Pranam. Chalo. See you tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.